Friday. I'm up on a ladder taking down Christmas decorations. We're one of the last few in the neighborhood to do that. Finished the Godzilla Hedorah piece yesterday, and I have really mixed feelings about it. I just can't tell if it's good. I feel like the drawing of Godzilla and Hedorah is good, some of my best. I feel like the skeletons in front are passable. They're fine, they're good, but not up to the level of the kaiju. And the coloring, I just feel like the base coloring I did was fine, and then I worry I overworked it. And in an attempt to make it less muddy, maybe, but it might just be the way it's looking because it's small and because it's not printed. Because when I zoom in, it looks good. So it's just weird because it's such a huge piece. It's 22 by 24 or 28, I think. But it's done. I sent it to the client. I'll wait for their approval. I also talked to them. I did this thing sometimes, and I'm going to stop doing it, where I'm like, oh, if you want to be, I'm going to climb down the ladder. If you want, I forget how I phrase it, but basically like, here's the price if you want me to be responsible for printing it. That is assuming it's a digital work. And then the sky looks awesome. And then here's the price. Somewhere I taught in there, don't pull on that. Something about wording to the effect of like, I have the right to make prints to sell of this. And I don't know why I do. I think at some point I said, well, I won't do this for things that I didn't want to. I don't know. I thought it was an enticement, but I don't think people really care about it. And so then I either end up giving people a discount on something that I don't care about making prints of, or then I prevent myself from making prints. Anyway, this was one of those things where I said that. And so I said, hey, look, I think this came out pretty good and I'd like to make prints of it. I'll knock $50 off the price since I had said I wouldn't. Does that sound okay to you? And we're gonna see what they say. I won't print it at the size they wanted. I'll have to readjust it and shrink it down to make 11 by 17, but we'll see how that goes. Everything's off the house, but now I gotta get it into boxes into the garage. Also, the inside is still all full of things. But, so yeah, that's the Hedorah thing. I have a Godzilla -1 commission that is due around the end of February, and we're at the beginning of January. And I also have another one that I didn't commit to, but a Power Rangers headshot, which shouldn't take too long, and I didn't commit to it yet, but it's like on the horizon. Heart Ray 4 just floating in nebulousness. People making noise over there. Depending on what artwork I put up here, I did do a rough for one of those Spawn variant covers. I'm having trouble communicating right now because of outside factors, but you get what I'm trying to say. I hope. So our Christmas decorations, I have these two like Tupperware Rubbermaid things in this box, and I was like, I want to get rid of this. Do I need to get another one of those? And then I realized I have so many decorations that I keep the box for, and then like carefully pack them back up in the box. Why? It takes longer. It's not like action figure boxes where they might be worth something, and even those should be thrown away eventually. But I've been getting rid of these boxes, and it's all fitting in this one tub. I can't believe it took me this long to think to get rid of the boxes. It's Friday night. I'm watching Joshua Kemble live stream, and he just chastised me for being so behind on my video blogs. I'm filming this now. My most recent blog was that I put up was about a week ago, but it was 2 months ago. Anyway, I've been working on. He's too loud. Josh, you're too loud. I had been working on my Spawn rough for the cover, and I've gone through phases where I'm like, I should do this. I want to do variant covers. I should do it. Hey, I want people to know my art. Then like, what am I doing? I'm not going to make any money on this. I have limited time. I should do a print. I should start working on my new commission. No. Why am I doing anything other than working on the horror? You know what I need to do? Like this is how my mind works, and it's how it's always been. And it's gotten worse as my time became more limited because then it's an even more precious commodity. But anyway, deciding to do a Spawn cover, it's then like, well, I have to have this one done by the end of the weekend. Can I do that? I don't know. If I don't do color, yeah, maybe. But also, the rough I had, I can't show you now, but the rough I had, which is maybe here, I was like, it's fine, but like I wasn't thrilled with it, and like the legs looked weird, so I'm like, let me study leg muscles. So I literally was like practicing working on leg muscles and stuff, and then I went through this thing where I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I saw, a bunch of artists putting up work that was at my level or lower. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't embarrass myself. Maybe I should, not that I'm necessarily going to win it. And then today I saw some that again were just like, I hope I have a chance. And they're just like amazing, gorgeous art. I'm like, why am I doing anything? But then compare and despair, so don't do that. But basically the one I was working on, I'm like, I redrew it like 15 times. And actually I'm doing it on Procreate, so there'll be a video of like, and this legs, I don't know. And I came to a new one, and I'm working on getting kind of from a layout rough to like a little bit more of like a halfway to pencils rough. And I'm going to end the night there and then decide if I'm going to do something with it tomorrow. But I do like it a lot more than I did. And I'm leaning into my strengths, which are detail and weird dynamic stuff as opposed to superhero anatomy. Because I've never been awesome at it. I'm much better than I used to be. But let me rephrase that. I think I got to a certain point with superhero anatomy. I never really mastered it, but I got passable okay, you know. And because I've been doing regular people and robots and monsters and things like that, and only occasionally doing like the superhero musculature, I'm like, oh, I'm a little rusty. And I don't have time to brush up on that in the next 3 days, so this is just what it's going to be. It's Saturday morning, and I was trying to finish up the last little bit of business with my Godzilla vs. Hedorah print, sending him digital files, and I was about to make the print. It's an oversized print to be sent to him, 22 by 28. And as I was setting this up, I suddenly noticed this image, which is the frame, the picture that he's going to replace, which is why he wants that exact size. I'm reading it now, 28 by 22. Okay, 28 by 22. That's what he said the first time. And then a line or so later, it says 22 inches tall and 28 inches wide. Okay. I'm not sure if I did that. I know it's 28 by 22, but I might have done 28 tall. And I gotta look at I gotta look at the actual measurements on the file, but I think that's exactly what I did, because I did a tall. I hope I'm wrong, because I'm either about to be done or I need to now rework all of this to fit a wider format. And not only do I not have, like, not only time and everything else, but also, like, I don't know how well it's going to work, because that's not how I designed it. Okay, I'm going to look at the file and I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to set this up so you can see my reaction real time, because I wish you could have seen the reaction I just had, because it was not a fun one, but it might have been fun for you. All right, so I'm going to minimize this, and I will close this. I'd already sent him the digital files too, so. All right, let's see here. I'm opening the file. I'm looking at it now. There's no way I didn't get this wrong. It's definitely. Oh, but he could turn it sideways. He could turn it. Oh, it might be fine. Okay. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Image size. 22 wide by 28 high. So I may have got it wrong. 22 wide by 28 high. So let me close this. So 22 inches tall by 28 inches wide. And I went with the first number. I messed up. What's funny is I sent two roughs. One that was this way and one that was this way, just by sheer how I did the compositions. And he liked this one better, which is fine. I'm gonna have to talk to him, see how this goes. Damn. Even if this goes well and it's fine, I'm still annoyed that I didn't ask for clarification or double check myself or triple check myself. Because I checked that size a bunch of times, but I kept checking 28 by 22, 28 by 22, then later he said 20 inches tall. And I'm looking at the picture and it's wide, but he could keep the same frame and just turn it. But I don't know if he wants to do that. So we'll find out in a minute. Well, not in a minute. You'll find out in a minute. Whew, we're okay. And luckily he was online and responded to me right away. No problem, it's all good. And I kind of hoped it would be, but I just was panicking because, like I said, it's not even the extra work. It's I was happy with this composition. It's all done. It's perfect, like the way I set it up. And like adding a couple inches on each side and removing a couple inches. Like I'm going to do that already for the 11 by 17 print, but it's going to be a little bit easier because it's already kind of the same orientation. But anyway, whew, this client continues to be a gem. Just super easy to work with and a lot of fun, and I would happily do another commission for them. They are the gold standard of what a client should be. More than I deserve, really. Usually I show my feet moving. This time I showed them not moving, even though I do feel like I'm making progress. I feel like lately, when I give it my all and I'm feeling healthy and I have time and I use that time to work on my art and I produce things, I get good results. And I put up that Hedorah piece and I'd be getting more likes and shares and follows, and it's like everything I want. Of course, and also money and a new print. And And now I'm trying to get the Spawn cover done. And someone else even asked me about another commission. I don't know what it is yet. But I feel like the way my life is, when everything lines up, the way my life is and the way I am, when everything lines up perfectly and I make all the right choices and put in the maximum effort I'm able to, I achieve a level of like, oh, pretty good for a part-time artist guy. And it's difficult for me to accept that that's kind of what I am. And it's especially difficult because I feel like my level of professionalism and my skill is higher than it's ever been. And yet I'm not really a working artist. Not really. I mean, I do work, I make money, but like, it's weird. It's weird. But I'm trying to focus on the positive. Got the commission done. I did 2 Spawn roughs. The cover has to be done today. I don't know what time. I'm going to the coffee shop now, and I'm gonna spend a couple hours and hopefully get it done. If not, then I'll do more later tonight. And whether or not I meet the deadline, I'm gonna try to finish it tonight. And then they have a new one every week this month. I wish I had more. Maybe there was more lead time if I'd been following closer, but it seemed to me like they announced it 2 weeks ago. And if I had 8-hour days to work on this, that would be no big deal. You know, to get a cover done in a week is something a professional artist should be able to do. But I'm going to skip the next 2 weeks, and the final week is a Spawn villain, and so that's something I could work on between now and then. I do have another Godzilla commission, but that's not done until the end of February, and I don't know what the other one, if I'm even going to take it, and then there's the Power Rangers one that's further down. But funny enough is I'm way behind on my videos. I put one up recently that was like 2 months old, and it was like, oh, it's, you know, I just went to Disney, and, you know, the big trip got canceled, and things are crazy. I'm going to Disney next weekend. This time next weekend, I will be at Disney. So it's weird. But I'm living my life normal. It crept up on me. And it's, last time I was like waiting for it and excited about it. And it's going to be this thing. This time, I'm sure I'll have fun when I go there. And I'm not complaining about a good, you know, a free trip to Disney. But it is like, oh, we just had Christmas and this, and people were sick, and I'm trying to catch up on work and art. And I'm like, okay, we're going. It's going to happen in like less than a week. I got to get ready for that too. But even though I should be working on that, I'm here and I'm gonna work on art. So I'm here at the coffee shop. I've done about an hour and a half inking on Spawn. I just went right into the inks rather than, I was tempted to try to clean it up, tighten it up, whatever, some more. But I got the sort of heavy inks done like that, the hard, heavy inks, just like the thicker lines of all of Spawn and all of his cape. I didn't get into the chains, which I know is gonna be tedious, but I figured like, well, if Spawn isn't coming out good, then there's, you know, and I give up, there's no point in doing the chains. I'll do the chains last, because while they'll be tedious, they'll be easy. There's nothing to figure out there, it's just doing it. And then I just got done doing, I don't always ink the same way, but often I'll be like thick lines, medium lines, thin lines. And I just got done doing the medium lines. So it's sort of kind of done. Some people would be like, okay, that's done. But I want to go in and put in little detail lines and little extra stuff. So that'll be the thin lines. And I think I'll be able to finish that now here. The chains I'll probably have to do later, and then background drawn in details, and then make the decision. I'll also probably put a layer of heavy blacks for shadows. I often will put that on its own layer, and then I'll make the decision of if I'm going to do color or not, which will largely be dependent on time. And if I do color, it won't be my normal color with 50,000 layers. It'll probably be a little bit closer to cell shading, where it'll just sort of be like flat, highlight, and shadow, and maybe a green hue if I do the, you know, the green in the background. I am happy with the progress I've made. I'm having the same problem I had last time I was here, where it's cold, my hands are getting numb. It wasn't that bad in the beginning, and I wore pants and a vest this time, and it's like, I don't feel that cold out here. It's not that cold, it's just my hands, just sitting in the shade with my hands out drawing is like, that's the part of me that's cold. The rest of me is more or less fine. I can sit out here all day. I did just get another coffee, so that'll help warm me up a little bit, and I'll try to draw for another hour or so before I go home, and then try to draw after dinner. We'll see where we go. All right, it's 5:15. As you can see, it's getting dark. It's staying light longer, but it's still getting dark early. I did put on my Nightmare Before Christmas gloves, which helped a lot. I was actually able to draw. Last time I wasn't able to, I think because I was doing a lot of fine detail. Actually, I'm doing fine detail now, but I'm doing a lot of like just quick lines, and I don't know, I'm doing like work on the cape and stuff. You can see here's where I am. I have pretty crisp inks. I'm just going in, like I said, with the extra detail. Like, these are the kind of lines I'm working on right now. But I am getting pretty cold, and so I'm gonna head home. Maybe I'll stop at Ross on the way, and then have some dinner, and then try to tomorrow I'm going to my mom's house. So I still have to get up early with the kid, but theoretically when I'm there, I can maybe take a break while they play or whatever. I might double check the time. I'm like on the verge of saying I'm going to pull an all-nighter, which is not a good idea, but I don't know. I feel like I want to accomplish things. I feel like I want to push myself. And when I play with my toys, for lack of a better term, I'm setting up toys on my shelf, or when I'm playing video games or farting around and doing things and I'm not getting my work done, then I feel less incentivized to stay up all night and do things like that. But when I'm like actually taking every active minute to work on the art, weirdly, it incentivizes me to want to work more, because I'm like, well, I'm doing everything I can. Time to ruin my sleep schedule too. Whereas if I had played video games for 2 hours, I'd be like, well, if I had just drawn for those 2 hours, don't be an idiot, But I haven't been an idiot, so now I might be an idiot by staying up late. We'll see. But I gotta go home. It's cold. Came back, had dinner, had to take care of some other stuff, and I am back at it now, but I didn't get back at it until about 8-ish. I was gonna say, I've done about an hour and a half more. So I didn't really keep good track of how long this has been taking me. Hours, because everything I do takes hours, but certainly less than what a normal like comic cover would take me, because it's only one character and instead of background, I'm doing a lot of capes and things like that, and it's a lot of artsy fartsy, designy, whiny stuff. But I was just watching Artcasters, and it's an older one from September with they had a guest, Eric Henson, who was a cool guest. And it's funny because he was talking about, he does sketch covers, and he's like, yeah, I'd see all these people doing sketch covers at like local comic shops for Ninja Turtles and stuff. He's like, why not me? Why can't they get sick and give me a chance? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand that. And then like, how many have you done? He's like, like 12. I'm like, all right, Eric, time for you to get sick now. Give me a chance. I don't know him, so that doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, I'm you in the past. I hope I'm you in the future. Well, actually, a long time ago, I joined a Discord server for Todd McFarlane for some reason. I barely use Discord, and I forgot I joined it. But earlier, I went on there. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm already on here, because I didn't know the exact time deadline. So I was like, hey, let me know the time deadline. I know it's today, but is it like midnight at a certain... And basically, no one gave me a definitive answer, but Todd apparently lives in Arizona, Todd McFarlane, who did Spawn, which is the whole blah, blah, blah. So the idea is like, well, see, for me, it's 9:45. So I have like over 2 hours. Which also made me realize there's no way I'd get all the color done, even if I wanted to do that. And I was like, I'll pull an all-nighter. It's like, I can't pull an all-nighter, even if I wanted to, because it needs to be done by 12. If it's not done by 12, I can continue doing it, but there's no need to stay up. But the consensus is, assume it's Arizona time. If it's 9:45, okay, so 9:45, 10:45, 11:45, 12:45. If it's East Coast time, I blew it. I passed it. If it's California time, I have 2 hours, but I'm giving myself an hour to finish up the inks and see where I'm at, and then I'm done. And then, I might want to continue, do the colors, finish it up, maybe make a print, use it as a portfolio piece, whatever. But it's not going to be an all-nighter. It's not going to be an early night, but I'll be going to bed, before 12. All right, well, I'm going to get copyright for that. I did another hour and a half, whatever I had left. I've just been working ever since. This, again, I said this earlier with the Hidora piece. Like, I drew a lot today. I just drew a lot, more than I usually have recently, which is good. It's something I hope I can keep up. And it was a big struggle to, like, the Hidora piece and this one. Like, when I first drew Spawn, I'm like, I can't draw. I can't draw Spawn. I can't draw superheroes. I can't draw. I don't know how to do a layout. I don't know how to do a pose. And I did like 5 or 6, and I had one that I labored over, which like kind of could become something. And then I did this one, and I still have there's a lot of flaws in it and a lot of problems with it, but I'm like not embarrassed of it too bad, And I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I got it done. I got the inks done. One of the issues though is a lot of what I wanted to do with this was have dynamic lighting and color behind it and stuff like that, or a sheet of skulls, which I almost put that in, but my skulls are like too rough, even for a background that's like low opacity. So I am inclined to want to finish this just for myself, and or a print, and or a folio piece, whatever. But I'm happy that I finished it, and I was really feeling the groove. I was listening to some YouTube videos, then I started listening to some music, and I actually was sitting at my art desk, which half the time, even though I have it there, I get in the groove and I'm sitting in front of my computer with the iPad. But I was just sitting at the art desk, listening to music, working on it under a deadline. But like, if I blew the deadline, it didn't really matter. And it just felt good, and it felt nostalgic. I don't know. I felt like I was in school, or I was working on a commission or something. It just felt like I felt the feeling the way I used to feel sometimes. That's all, and it was good. and I should go right to bed now because it's 11, but I'm kind of wound up, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something. So look at this lovely little boy. Isn't he great? Look at that. Look how a little tail moves. It's like the best articulated tail I've ever seen. It just moves like butter. That has nothing to do with anything except for he's a good boy. Got me a butterscotch latte. Wow, it's bright. I should have put on my sunglasses. Better in the shade. Better in the shade for this. Not better in the shade for drawing. There was a weird, I was at the coffee shop drawing. There was a weird curve where it was like, it's in the 50s, and it's like, oh, by the time I get there, it's gonna be going up to like 58, 59, 60, 61. The time I'm there, the temperature will be going up. And when I got here, it felt pretty okay, better than the last few times I was here. And, but it got colder, even though, because I was sitting in the shade. The sun shifted, and now I was sitting in the shade, and even though technically the temperature went up a degree or two for me, I think it went down a few degrees, never got as bad as some of the other days, and I toughed it out about 2.5 hours of drawing. Flatted the colors on Spawn, completed some ink, like little ink errors, and then got a good chunk of the actual coloring done. It's not completely done. But this was a case where I was like, do I even want to do it? And like, it's kind of simple colors, but it's kind of not, you know, there's a lot of futzing around with like whatever. And like, but once I got into it, and the flatting took me a while. I'm like, this is taking me longer than it should. And I had to remember a fill thing in Procreate that I wasn't doing right. So I did that, and then the second half went quicker. But then again, once I got into it, I just was listening to crappy 90s music and feeling like a teenager drawing Spawn. And yeah, it just, the time went, and it, you know, I didn't get it finished, but it wasn't a grind. And yeah, I've been feeling pretty positive in general about life and about my art. You know, not positive like, hey, I'm doing great, I'm winning, I'm getting all the accolades and money, but just good about the stuff I've been creating has been decent, and I've been doing good output. I still struggle with drawing. It's all this, you know, it's almost like I'm back to where I was a couple of years ago, because yeah, it's just been a downward slide in a lot of ways for a lot of things. So. Yeah, but one thing I was thinking about, So I guess that's the end of this video. Get it? The end. Funny, fun I am. So yeah, I am gonna end it here. Spawn not quite done. Got a few days before I go on a trip.